Matt, you should have seen Coach Hazel sprint out of the locker room, but I did have a chance to catch up with him. He said there's 3 things I want my team to do in the second half. Offensively, that's run the ball more. He said we got to be able to convert on third downs, and defensively, stop those big plays by Kentucky. And during pregame, I ran into a familiar face of Mickey Matthews from James Madison University. I said, what are you doing here, Coach? He said, well, I played here and coached here. 1981 was the last time I saw a game live, so 4 hours away, decided to make the trip and tell these guys how many Buffaloes are really pulling for him. Must have been a good pregame speech. Matt, this manual here represents the passion and commitment that Aaron Murray brings to the football field and the classroom. You guys should have seen the fire in his eyes, the passion in his voice as he was talking about being an HR director one day for a big-time company. He loves surveys, so he decided to make a survey for his team. And ding, 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 survey says, Aaron Murray, you're a nice guy, but you need to be more forceful and demanding with us. And Aaron said, I love the criticism, and it's helped me step up my leadership based on all this feedback. When I had a chance to catch up with James Franklin, he said offensively we have to score touchdowns instead of field goals. Defensively, have to contain Ole Miss to short yardage plays. And when I asked him about Zach, he said, business as usual. We're going to go on. We start 0-0 at the half. When Coach Bowden came out of the locker room, he said, I'm confident in this team. He said, we fought them nail and nail. We're clawing and scratching to stay in this game. But in the second half, we've got to have better production out of our quarterback. We can't give up the big plays. That was his message, Matt. Coach, you've had to settle for field goals, but you've been able to move the ball. Why has your offense been successful?
Yeah, we got to start scoring some touchdowns. You know, they're too dangerous on offense for us to continuously, bogged down in the red zone. I've made some bad calls down there, and then they did a great job with their punter. They're pinning us back after I called the timeout and gave them 3 points, so they got a little momentum. We get the ball coming out. We got to get it in the end zone somehow.
Now, a late 3-point field goal there, but your defense has played well.
Yeah, they're playing well. We're winning first down usually with them, and offensively we're not winning first down enough, so we got to get in and figure out what we can do to run the football on first down.
All right, Coach, thank you.
Thank you.
Perhaps while watching this game, you did realize there is a racetrack surrounding the football field, and evidence that they still race here today. A little metal-on-metal action. There's a lot of history at this track, from the likes of Dale Earnhardt to Richard Petty, and matter of fact, Petty got his 100th win here on this track. But, families from April to August pack in here for good, affordable fun. And a little tidbit I found on the internet, ladies. If you want a good ladies' night, $1 will get you in this place on a Saturday night. That sounds like some frugal, parsimonious living. What do you think, John?
I love it. I think I'm going to get a wig and a dress, and I got my plans made.
Well, Matt, it's been nearly a year and a half since Pat McShane has even been on the football field. It was a time away to really have mental rehabilitation for this young man. Family's what he needed most, so he moved back home. When he chose Kent State, football had nothing to do with it. It was just about being near family. And as we know, life has an interesting way of working out, and Brian George, who was at IU, ended up coaching at Kent State. He found out, made the call, and you could only imagine when Pat McShane walked into Coach Hazel's office, 6'4", 300 pounds, what he thought, Matt. That's right, John. It's left tackle Manasseh Foketti. He was an offensive line starter at Kansas State until an injury in 2011. And that brought this young man to be a Buffalo in this Division II program so that he could find playing time immediately. And now he finds himself as a potential top NFL draft pick as a Division II player. John and Rini will have more on this story later in the broadcast. When I had a chance to catch up with Hugh Freeze at the half, it wasn't X's and O's. It was actually a very simple message. It was go get it. He said, our guys were way too giddy last week in the fourth quarter. He said, we have 30 minutes to get an SEC win. Go get it. It was a tag team effort between Chris Foster and Jerry Moore as they spoke to their defense saying, this is it. This is the end of our season. Can you look your teammate in the eye and say you gave it everything to stop that play? You need to ask yourself that, and you need to go out and play defense. To Coach Moore yesterday, and I said, Coach, what was your theme for this week? And he said, Angela, it's simple. We're going to take it back to preseason when I made each player sign a plaque that had trust and respect. Every player signed it. He reminded them of that after the loss to Wofford. He said, we're in a 3-game season. Go out and win each game. Now for this weekend, Angela, it's a 4-game season, 1 game left. Let's go get it. Guys, tangible, simple, get it done. So, a big pregame ceremony in your honor. The one thing I want to ask you is, was there ever any doubt in your mind that you weren't going to get the nod for this position? Guys, he's so confident that he's speechless. Hey, look, I got 2 pieces of advice for you, Uga. If anyone asks you something you don't know, just don't answer them. And these little brown spots you have, they're darling. And let me tell you, it is much better to be looked over than overlooked. And finally, these few intimate moments we shared together, Russ, I need to know if I'm in the friend zone or not. Come on, Russ. Oh, no play from the dog, guys. I mean, really?
There you go. How about that?
Yes, a big blow to the Vanderbilt offense. Zach Stacy is down. I knew it was over for him when he took his gloves off, threw him to the ground. He could barely sit up. Tears were streaming down his face. Coach Franklin came over twice, gave him a kiss on the cheek. I had a chance to talk to his mother, Barbara. She did not know the status at the moment. She said just their faith is keeping them strong. They do have him bandaged up with ice on that right knee, though, guys. Coach, you got off to a slow start a year ago, and now you've won 5 of your last 6. What do you have to do to go 6-7 here in Lexington tonight?
Well, we just got to get started on the right foot here tonight and handle all the surges that are going to come after us, and just do what we're capable of doing. I think that's good enough.
Despite Kentucky's loss a week ago, they threw the ball well. What concerns you most offensively from UK?
Well, they got a very good quarterback, and he's very efficient with the ball, and he's able to make those big throws when he has to.
Coach, thank you.
Thank you so much, Angela.
All right, thank you, Angela. Darrell Hazel, the head coach since 2011 in his second season. Record of 6-7 on the...
That's right, Clay. You guys have been talking about him pushing that tempo all night. Hey, it just didn't start that way for Hugh Freeze. It happened years ago when he was coaching women's basketball, and what was only supposed to be 1 year turned into 12 years, and his philosophy was to push the tempo. Every 20 seconds, get that shot off. And guys, he was successful. 4 out of 8 state championships, and it's carried over into his football days here at Ole Miss, pushing the tempo. Coach, bringing your team into an SEC environment like Tennessee, how do you game plan for this atmosphere?
Yeah, we work on it so much. Just tell them expect anything. Don't let the crowd get you too excited. Something happens early, just let it go. Keep playing the game. This thing has got to go like all games. It's got to go 60 minutes.
You told me your dad's piece of advice was to be patient. I understand he spoke to the team pregame. What was his message?
Well, pregame was all about, hey, men, all you can do is the best you can do. And it's just like David and Goliath. It can happen.
Thank you, Coach. Thank you. You know, one of the things that Coach Chizik mentioned early in the week, and then he reiterated again to me in pregame, is his team has to bring the momentum early here. He asked his team to score first. But one thing he didn't know is when Ole Miss opponents score first this year, the opponent wins. When Ole Miss scores first, Ole Miss wins. So what happens early in this game could help predict the outcome, Dave. Welcome back. Kentucky's on top 14-7, and I have a special guest with me, John Calipari, 2012 National Championship coach of the Kentucky Wildcats. Coach, while you won the title, you still got some replenishing to do. Give us a little preview of this year's team.
Well, we recruited a pretty good class, but Angela, here, you got to win every game. And you got to win them by 20. If you win them by 10, they're like, what happened? So it's another season. I got a good group of young players, and figure out how we got to play. We got some big guys, long guys that need to play together, so we'll go from there.